Well, Lori and Mark, these protests started in Asia and worked their way around the globe as each time zone struck 11 a.m. Google employs thousands of people in Kirkland and Fremont, many of whom joined their co-workers in other cities with a message: time's up. When many people think of Google, they mention the company's vast profits, addictive products, and lavish employee perks.
Come on in closer. Don't be afraid.
This group of workers wants you to consider something else.
Time's up on sexual harassment. Time's up on abuse of power. Time's up on systemic racism.
The crowd that gathered outside Google's Fremont office joined thousands of others at company properties around the globe who walked off the job Thursday protesting, quote, a culture of complicity, dismissiveness, and support for perpetrators in the face of sexual harassment, misconduct, and abuse of power.
There are people who didn't feel safe enough to be here due to visa concerns or fear of retaliation.
The walkouts, including a large group in Kirkland, seen here in a Twitter post, are in response to reporting by the New York Times about how Google paid a $90 million exit package to a male executive accused of sexual harassment. The company paid millions to another accused executive, the Times reported.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
The demonstrations evolved into an opportunity to demand the company do a better job closing pay gaps related to gender and race, and insist that Google come up with a better way of allowing employees to report harassment.
I'm impressed that so many people did turn out.
Nancy Evinger is a Google technical writer who believes this movement is too important for her employer to ignore.
I am hopeful because one of our directors really supported us walking out today, so I think they're hearing us loud and clear.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai responded to the walkouts today, saying during a conference, quote, moments like this show that we didn't always get it right, and so we're committed to doing better. He says Google has evolved and they've fired 48 employees for sexual misconduct allegations, and those employees did not walk away with exit packages. Back to you guys.